DLS Way, Shanghai, back again. Racism, something we do not really enjoy talking about, but you cannot really escape the spectrum, so to speak. So we saw a video all together, right? Yeah. Going viral. There was this girl out in Japan. I think she's like a TikToker or something like that. I think she joined another group, these live TikToking, and there were these two American girls who were trying to like. It was supposed to be a conversation, right? People get into people's live videos, have a nice, call it cultural exchange, learn about each other, what TikTokers do as usual. But these two girls decided to make fun of this Japanese girl. I think she's pretty popular in Japan, though. She's called Gemini something. And her English was pretty bad. I mean, she switched to Spanish, thinking if she spoke Spanish, possibly these girls could understand what she was trying to say. At least she was trying, but these girls just decided to make fun of her, right? Doing the slant eye.
Hello.
¿Cómo estás?
Can you speak English? You don't sound fluent in Spanish.
A little bit.
You don't sound
Little bit.
You don't sound fluent in Spanish. So, what part of Texas are y'all from? We're in Dallas. I am doing good, just getting ready for work. Oh, that's cool. I'm proud of you. Good job. So, why did you join us? We don't want to battle you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. 안녕.
Get your
Yes.
funny ears out of here. Jesus Christ. Bye.
Why did you just
Next.
Bye.
No,
Is
seriously.
somebody recording this?
I would hope so.
Yeah, you want to go viral, right?
No, we don't care about all that.
It seems like it.
We don't care about
Where's the accent?
I know, huh? Do you have a problem?
아니?
Honey?
I said, do you have a problem?
아니, 없는데? Hola.
Hello.
And you think about it, 2024, I mean, who does that? Who does that? So is it because of like you mentioned one time, cowardice, as in people just hide behind their phones, cameras, and do these kind of things because physically you cannot really, apprehend them. So what do we think all this is about? In 2024, is this acceptable? I know the answer is no, but let's see what these guys got to say about it, right? DLS, back at ya. All right, so yeah, I think we all saw the video. It's pretty appalling, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You're always gonna have these people who have no regard for their fellow humans. The girls in question, they came out to apologize, but it was not as sincere as one would hope. So, what do you think? Do you think it's acceptable to make fun of people, right? Be online, physically, or in a space that it's supposed to be a nice, meet up, exchange some cultural opinions, ideas, conversations, and people tend to make fun of, other races. So what do you think about it? What do you make of it?
For me, I always believe that the most beautiful thing you can wear is self-confidence. Yeah. And when you look around the world, there are a lot of people going through stuff and they hide their frustrations behind meanness or being mean. So, and then in the name of racism or discrimination, if you may call it. For me, in 2024, I don't have time for that energy. I don't have time for those kind of things. If you come with me with that energy and you are not close by, that you will not get a slap, then I'll tell you something to go home, go get your parents to reteach you what life is all about. So I think people like that, I think they lack a lot of, and this is not me making excuses. You have every listen. These things are taught. Let's get it right. Racism is you get from home. You understand? So you have to go back to your home to learn how to be a better person in society. Because for me, this is just flesh.
I like it. I like it when you say racism is taught. Like Nelson Mandela has a very famous quote. He said, "Nobody is born to hate."
Yes.
So if people can be born to hate, they can be born. They can be. Nobody is taught to hate, but if people can be taught to hate, they can also be taught to love.
Yeah.
So basically, what he was saying is, like you said, everything is taught, including racism. I just think that it's very unfortunate and very kind of childish and so archaic for people in this day and age to still be thinking and treating other human beings as such, like borrowing from someone's words. Don't listen to the message and not the messenger. It doesn't matter how somebody looks, what language the person speaks, as long as they can communicate, even if it's through sign language. I think we should critique or analyze the message and not the messenger, because whoever is sending out the message doesn't really matter that much. At this point in time, it shouldn't matter if somebody is Asian, African, European, whatever. Listen to the message. If it's good for you, fine. And fortunately, media or the social media is so open to the point where there's millions of options. If someone is doing something and you don't agree with the person,
Don't watch
just
it.
turn it off and
Yeah,
go
yeah,
on.
don't-
Okay, yeah, I like the
Move
fact
on.
that you brought that up, because at the end, it wasn't like there was even like a conversation going on. There was nothing actually happening, right?
Right.
And it felt like these two girls were literally just bullying this Japanese
Right.
TikToker. So I mean, if you guys did not see the video, we're gonna put it up. Just check it out, and then you can form your own opinions about it. Because the girl, she was so flustered, she just did not know how to react. Because she was like,
Yeah, sometimes
yeah, because you just don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. You're like,
Yeah.
does this really
Do
happen?
human beings still
Yeah.
do these things?
And the crazy part is these two girls are Americans, and thinking about how America or the West is kind of like, we call it a melting pot. Different people with different backgrounds, you would think they would know better, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty shocking, pretty like ironic watching this video, thinking, oh, you guys should know better, right? America has like all kinds of races and
her feeling, not to cut
backgrounds.
you, sorry.
Yeah.
Her reaction actually. There's this quote I have in my head: "No one can make you feel inferior unless you consent to it." So that was when she was like, "Oh, no, actually, this is what they are doing to me," and I know we've all found ourselves in that position before. Our reactions were different, but it sucks for somebody to pick on you because of your race. I jokingly tell people that I'm a citizen of the earth, and you can never change my mind on that. But sometimes you find yourself in places where people behave awkwardly, stupidly, for lack of word,
Right.
being frank and sincere, and you are like, man, it's 2024.
Yeah.
yeah. So this comes back to my point again. At the end of the day, I do not really understand what they were trying to achieve, right? And what does that even mean? Like, doing this, the slant eye.
I think-
What does that mean?
I
Does
think-
it mean you're inferior? Like, what is that
Yeah,
supposed
I
to
think so. I think
translate into? What does it mean?
Yeah, because this is a typical US thing, yeah. And this is not the racism across the world, yeah, and in different kind of connotations. But for you to just do a sign to mock someone, I don't get it. Nobody chooses where to be born. And even if for me, I'm talking from my angle, I'll still come with this same race because I know who I am.
Yeah, of course.
You
And
understand?
this is not something
But
you can put like
yeah, nobody
filters on, right?
But,
This
but
is
actually, what
who
is
you are,
wrong?
what-
But my point is, what is wrong in having a big eye, small eye, small nose, big nose? What does it matter?
I think you always have this favorite word, entitlement.
Entitlement,
I think
yeah.
and this is the truth. Everybody knows it. And someone just mentioned the feeling of being superior to others.
Others, yeah.
And it also comes from how most people, in most cases, sorry, Europe and the US have been perceived and have been treated around the world.
Yeah.
You go to, even let's talk about traveling, right?
Yeah.
A European or American picks up his passport and he can go to over 100 countries, just walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people from other parts of the world, I mean, not like Japan. Japan has, I think, Japan, Singapore, they have the strongest
Strong,
passports
yeah.
in the world. So that doesn't even count. But I'm just looking at it from a general point of view where we have valorized, or the globe as a whole has valorized Western countries to the point where some of them feel they are above everyone else. So they feel superior.
Yeah.
That is why an American or American teenagers or whatever will ignorantly even think that they are better than a Japanese when probably the car you're driving is a Japanese
was
brand.
made by
Made
a
in Japan or
Japanese,
something.
yeah.
Probably the TV you're watching is a Japanese brand or
Yeah.
something. So it all comes down to ignorance. So you know when you are favored for so long, you become blinded to some of the truth that exists.
Yeah.
You don't even know the things around you are provided by these same people. But besides all that, what even makes you think that you come from a default set of people and everyone else should be looked down upon? What makes you think that you're better than somebody else?
Yeah, a little context to the video. It's like the girl, you could tell the girl was trying to connect, right? Because she could not really, like, express herself in English, but she was trying, it wasn't working. And they just kept asking her, like, what is your problem? What is your problem? It's like, she was not even reacting. She was kind of like,
That she was shocked,
she was kind of
surprised,
shocked. So she kind of tried speaking Spanish, was like, ¿Cómo estás? Something like that. And they were like, they don't speak Spanish. And they kept asking, what's your problem? They kept doing this slant eye thing. But the point, my next question goes to reaction. If you were in that space, how would you react?
Yeah, I'll just log off because it's the internet.
No, but I think she could not also understand what they were trying to say. She could not really.
Yeah,
until
but
they did
she
the
saw.
slant eye thing, and that was
so
what
she
kind of
saw
like.
the sign, and then there's this thing. There's this quote I always go by. Yeah, ignorance can be cured. Stupidity is forever.
Yeah.
You understand?
I get it.
So if from those two girls or women, if I may call them, I don't know whether they were ignorant or they were being the normal stupid racist.
I just think it's that superiority complex thing.
Good. So if that is the angle they are coming from, why do you pick on somebody who doesn't actually understand what you're saying?
Yeah. So we stick to the
For
point.
you to go to the extent that
So you would just log off.
I would just say okay, but if you look at you watch the video,
Yeah.
she went like, oh, like really? Is this what you like this is what you guys are doing? And then I think she logged off. You understand? So I would do the same.
Okay.
But me being a guy man, I'll say something before I leave.
All right. Cool.
Yes.
Reaction. What would you do in that situation, in that space?
Well, I think if you are conveniently using something that is known in your social circles, in your environment, something that is used in a sarcastic way against me and my people, then I can also just switch and speak something in a language that you don't understand. And you go
Yeah, but
find
that is
out.
you stooping low to their level, right?
Exactly.
You just trying to be.
No, but it also depends on what you're going to say.
Yes, so I'll explain because she was trying to express herself in a language that is not her first language.
Yeah.
So I would switch to my own language and say, send a message that I want to send, and ask them to find someone else to help them to translate to understand what I said, and then just sign.
But I don't
give-
think they even worth.
No,
your
but they
time
were
for
even
doing all
mocking
that,
her.
right?
They were even mocking her, trying to speak a language.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
the
yeah,
English.
yeah.
You understand? So even
Yeah. They were mocking
if-
her. She was trying to speak.
Yeah,
they were
even
mocking
if
her
she
accent.
speaks the Korean language,
right.
they will still have mocked her anyway. Because that is what I said. If their behavior, if you look at it from the ignorance point of view, or my favorite word, entitlement point of view, it still boils down to stupidity, because the world has moved on.
Yeah.
Or we are trying to move on from
Yeah.
all this.
I just think it's
So we got to
childish and
move on as
stupid.
well.
Yeah.
So my next thing is inflection, self-reflection or whatever the word is. And it's like, the thing went viral, this girl came out and apologized, right? But the crazy part in her apology, she was not very apologetic, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because she was making it all about herself that, she's kind of like, getting all this hate and she just want to go back to being who she was and taking care of her kid. And I got to, whoa, so you actually have a kid. So it was more about herself. She was not even talking about offending a people and apologizing like sincerely to this girl.
Listen.
So how would you feel if this girl came back and apologized? Would you honestly forgive her and be like, yo, sure, let's move on, we could hold another session. This is all good.
I mean, saying you forgive somebody is different from actually forgiving the
Forgiving the
person
person,
in your heart. I don't think something like this can be easily forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we say forgiveness, what is forgiveness? Forgiveness means you don't even remember it anymore. But each time you remember, you're going to feel hurt. So I don't think the forgiveness part really stands. You can make it public and say, okay, I've forgiven you, let's move on.
Right.
But I never have anything else to do with you ever. So I don't think that, I think forgiveness should be taken out. The damage has already been done. And I'll just tell you, okay, you move on with your life, do whatever you want to do.
I know your dad used to be a pastor and he taught you how to be like, forgiving and everything.
Which
so
of my dad?
I think your stepdad. So would you, in reference to that background you have, would you forgive this guy and be like, yo, we can hold another session?
Listen.
It's all good. You made a mistake.
From the Old Testament
We can hang out
generation,
now.
an eye for an eye.
Okay.
But sometimes too, you have to sometimes ignore people. Just move on, let them live with their guilt. And now she came out trying to fight her corner. I believe that it is fear and ignorance are the key roots to racism. This we know is the fact. What's her fear? In a apology, you could see, oh, I have a son. Oh, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So if you know, and you are not ignorant, but you have a son that may travel somewhere else to a different country, where color-wise, skin color, skin tonation-wise, he might not fit in or he might not belong. But yet he's young, he doesn't know anything. You are the mother, and you go around behaving like this. In about 10, 15, 20 years down the line, if your son comes to you and say, I went to this place and they bullied me just because I'm a Caucasian or whatever.
Karma will catch up.
How would you feel? No, but how would you feel?
I get it.
And then when you came to apologize, but I got, you know what you were doing.
Exactly. So let's stay on point. Would you forgive this girl?
Me? Are you asking me? Milante?
Because your dad used to be a pastor. And
It doesn't
he
matter. My
instilled the
dad
fear of
has
God
carried
in
his,
you.
his pastor somewhere.
Okay.
Me, actually, I'll ignore and move on. Whether to forgive him for I would. The thing
Now,
is,
would you be like, okay, you've apologized, I understand it was a mistake.
I hear
did.
you. I hear
Okay.
you, but I'm not taking it.
Okay.
No,
Got
I'm moving on with my life, but I'm not taking your apology. It doesn't matter. This is you.
Yeah.
You understand? You are just, because now everybody is on you. You are
coming
here.
out, yeah.
"Oh, I'm sorry. No. You are a closet. Whatever. The other word. I
Okay,
don't want to
closeted
add.
bigot. Okay. The most important thing is everybody knows this. This was really terrible. It's I mean, just watch the video and let's know what you think. But if you ask, the question I'm going to ask is why? I mean, why do you have to be so mean to another person, right? There's a difference between somebody doing you wrong and being like, okay, this guy is, full of, you know what? So I'm going to say something bad. I'm going to do something bad to hurt his feelings, right? But I remember DMX, one of his songs, he said one thing. He said there's a difference between being wrong and doing wrong.
Yeah.
So being wrong is when we say, okay, you made a mistake, right? But then it's like some people do wrong on purpose. If you watch these, it's unbelievable this can happen in 2024.
Yeah.
And watching these two girls, you could tell they're educated. You can't tell me these girls are like some hillbillies who have no idea how to behave in society or in a civilized manner. So let's know what you think. in the comment section, it's appalling, but we don't really want to go on about race every single time there's something like that. I'm not really trying to relate it to race per se, but you just cannot
just can't take that factor
exactly
out
you
of it.
cannot
Yeah.
disconnect the two. All races are kind of like very good at certain things, and all
Yeah.
races are
No,
kind of
but
like
for
have
me,
a
like
weakness.
I always say, we are all citizens of the earth. So race does not really matter.
Not
to
every
me.
yeah,
But not
every-
everybody sees it like that.
yeah.
You understand?
Some people-
And that's the crazy part. We always feel like it looks like only whites are racist. Come on, there are some
No,
whites
that's
who
what
are
I'm saying.
racist
It
as
cuts
well.
across.
Yeah, so it
Racism
cuts
is-
across
it
board.
cuts
So,
across. So
regardless of
we have racism,
your background,
tribalism, xenophobia,
Exactly.
whatever. But what we are trying to say is, it is about time. It is 2024. We have to learn to move on. Like, what I look doesn't have to change from the way I treat you, because it is what you bring on board.
And also that perception that only things that come from the West are the best.
That-
That
we need to-
notion should be kicked out
Yeah.
of the park, because it's no more like that.
Since
all right,
you-
DLS coming at you from Shanghai.
This
See you on
man
the
gets a
next
chance, he will
episode.
talk for 2 hours.
Adios.
All
He
right,
doesn't
drop
want
your comments in the
your
comment
comments.
section.